So if you see her, give her a hug and love on her. Well, if you can't tell already, my family is not completely blood related. Well, I think I'm the only one from Mother's Choice specifically, but okay, here goes. The eldest in my family is Joanna. She's the one on the right. The second eldest would be Tanya, the one below her. On the left is Josh, the one my mom is holding. He's actually blood related to me, but he was in a different orphanage. And Tori is the one next to me on my dad's lap. And this is really the family that I grew up knowing, because my sister was so much older than me that I never really saw her that much. So this is kind of my family. And more specifically, this is... Yeah, I know. I was fat once. I get it. Oh, another thing, the guy on the left, Josh, he's been selling raffle tickets, and I'd like to give a shout out to people selling raffle tickets, because quite frankly, when you're small, it's easier, but he's only 1 year younger than me. I'm 18, he's turning 17 in 11 days. So for him to just be here to sell, knowing that he probably has a lower chance than most of the little kids, is quite gutsy of him. So give him a high five. So the main thing is Tori, this guy. Yeah, sorry, hold up.
Look how skinny.
Yeah, you see Tori here with me? That's a linebacker from Stanford, which means he's smart and he's also strong. So, yeah, call him up if you know his name. Basically, Tori has cerebral palsy. He was born feet first, and they couldn't get him out fast enough, and he took a breath, and that changed everything. Imagine flexing your leg muscles to the point that you cannot walk normally. Take an anesthetic shot to your tongue every morning, maybe 2, so you can't speak normally. And keep your right hand closed, never opening it, and not really having much strength in there. And that's what my older brother lives with every day. He means a lot to me partly because of sports. As you can see here, he at least had the guts to go with me to meet this guy. And yeah, like that's the major one. And I don't know why. It's hard to explain. Like, we call them people with disabilities, but I think they have extraordinary abilities that none of us have. We may look so lovey-dovey in this photo, but like, we get into fights, like legit fights, and I always hold grudges against him. I get mad at him, and my mom's like, Joe, you gotta say sorry, you're in the wrong. And I'm like, no, man, he's in the wrong, he's in the wrong. And then Tori just comes up to me and it's just like normally I start the fight, so. He comes up to me and he doesn't care. He's just like, you're my brother and I love you. And so he gives me a hug and everything's well. And I think that's an extraordinary ability. Some people in this world hold grudges for their entire lives. They never give up. And we call them disabilities, but I think that's an amazing ability. And adding on to that, he may have a disability, like physically, but he's the only guy in our family, like of the sons, that has a girlfriend. I'm reminded of that every day by my mom. And quite frankly, I love Mother's Choice. I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, have you ever thought, like, I don't know how many of you guys are actually adopted. I know maybe there's a few, quite little. But for me personally, can you imagine, like, for me, I sit down sometimes on the toilet, or I fall asleep on the bus, or I'm just thinking in general, and I can just kind of wonder, like, what would it be like without Mother's Choice? Would I be here? Think about it. Just think about it. And you think of all the people, like all the kids that are never born. it sickens me. But to think that I'm lucky enough, by God's grace, to be here. Yes, I'm a Christian. And you kind of look at our family, and you see how we're all so happy. Can you imagine one of them not being there? Mm-hmm. It's really hard. And so I love Mother's Choice because they've given me so much. They gave me my family. They gave me my mother. And and just adoption in general. Like, without it, I wouldn't have my older brother, I wouldn't have my little brother, I wouldn't have anything. And so, like, kids that are disabled are, like, I don't know, they're just not wanted, I guess, or they're just can't be taken care of. So what you guys are going to be pledging to is to a place that can care for these kids. And they'll be put into families. Like, you see the gardeners, they're happy, they're awesome, I love them. His art is amazing. It's better than mine. I just like...
Their art?
Yeah. I'd just like to read a poem for you that's dedicated to my older brother. And yeah, that's about it. Tori by Joseph Bruce Ryan. This is a poem to someone I love, to someone who is not perfect, a poem to someone who is better than me, sometimes, and to someone who is strong. This is also a poem to someone who cares, to someone who forgives and loves all. This is a poem to someone who completes the puzzle of our family. This is a poem to Tori Preston Ryan, my friend, and most importantly, my brother.